I'm going to glue up a board today, and if you're not familiar with how to do it, I'll show you how I do it. Normally you use a jointer, but the reason to glue up a board instead of using one large board or wide board is because of how fast these trees are growing to be used. The growth rings are unstable, they're too far apart now. And when I do it, I look for the growth rings, and this one is going like this, okay? So the other board that I want it to be the opposite direction. And if I were to do a third board, it also would be the opposite of that. I don't have a jointer, and there's a couple of ways to handle that if you don't. You can use a flush cutting bit on your router table. But what I do is, and this isn't the correct way, but I get away with it. It's good enough for the type of work that I'm doing. I run it on the table saw and I just shave off half a tooth, okay? And I do it enough times until I get a pretty good fit. And then I use biscuits and glue, and I leave it in the clamp overnight. But if you're not familiar with these, they come in different sizes, and when you put glue on them, they swell up. These are 10s, and these are 20s. And 20s are a little bit bigger, okay? And the way a biscuit joiner works is a saw blade comes out on the side like that, and it'll cut half the moon for this to slide into, and then half on the other side. And you don't have to be real accurate with it as you would like a dowel. If you were putting a dowel into it, you'd have to be very accurate. And where the numbers come in play is right here on this little turn. You go like that, and the blade will come out as far, and that would be for the smaller disc. But we're going to cut the larger ones. We're going to set this on a 20. Another thing, if humidity gets onto your discs, they'll start to prematurely swell and you'll have a hard time placing them in your boards. What you can do is set them in the microwave for a little while, and you'll bake the moisture out of it. Alright, so that's all there is to it. There's not a whole lot. And I'll show you how I do it. Line up your red dot to your line, okay? And just squeeze the handle. That's a bit overkill, but it's fun to do anyhow. Notice that I left quite a bit on the ends, and that's because I'm going to trim the panel to length, and I also want to be able to use a profile bit. I want to make sure that I don't hit my biscuits. So let me get the other side now. to use a clamp in the center. To make the panel flat. Tomorrow, we'll make a raised panel.